What is going down, fans and members of the Delta Battle League? My name is Eric, I'm the commissioner of the DBL, and before we get started here, I want to say congratulations to JBlitz34 and the St. Louis Fellows for winning the championship with a 1-0 victory over the Minnesota Wild Charge, coached by Sharpdress Gaming. So congratulations to both of our finalists, and I want to say congratulations and thank you to all of our members and supporters for Season 2 of the DBL, because we couldn't have done what we did without you. It was definitely a successful season. I think everyone had fun. It was definitely a great experience to be a part of myself as a coach and definitely as commissioner. So that being said, Season 2 is now complete. Season 3 will not be starting for a while, but in the meantime, over the offseason, we are going to be doing a Little Cup Offseason League, very similar to that of the UCL. We're going to be honest here, it's going to be extremely similar to that of the UCL. We're not trying to hide the fact that we're basically doing everything they're doing. It's a really good system. Definitely fun, not meant to be extremely competitive, just want to get that out there right away. We don't intend for this to be as competitive as the normal regular season and postseason of the DBL main league, but definitely just here to have fun. I mean, obviously we want a little bit of competitiveness and quality teams, but it's here for fun and just fill in over the offseason coming up to Season 3 of the DBL. So that being said, we do already have quite a few responses in, or responses to the forum, which is linked down below, so make sure you guys go check that out if you are interested in joining. But I suggest you guys do watch the rest of the video if you have not already signed up, just so that you know what's coming and that you will be able to participate in the time period and all of that stuff. The title pretty much explains it all. I'm sorry I couldn't say that. But it is going to be a Little Cup Offseason League, very similar to the regular format of competitive battles and competitive league stuff, but it's just Little Cup Pokemon. The draft is the major difference with this type of system, as we saw in the UCL. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with UCL, I'll try to explain as much as I can, but I'm assuming that most of you understand what happened during the UCL Little Cup Offseason League, and we're just basing everything off of that. So we will start with the rules. There is going to be 16-team fields, so there were 12 members of the DBL during Season 2, and not all of them will be participating in this off-season league, so there are going to be 5 to 6 open spots, or probably 6 or more open spots, actually, for new people to come and, take a shot at the Little Cup Off-Season League. Hopefully we do have more than 16, so we're going to have to pick and choose when it comes to our members, since we can only limit it to 16. So some things that will give you better odds of getting in the league: being active on Twitter or some sort of social media, most likely Twitter, because that's where most of the DBL stuff happens. That's the main thing that will get you, or give you better odds to getting in the league. Being a respectful and polite person is obviously a major plus if you intend on getting into stuff like this. YouTube is not a requirement, but we do highly suggest that you work on that if you are not doing that. I mean, it's not a requirement, like I said, but if you do have a productive YouTube channel and you show that you will be uploading all these battles and things like that, that will give you a boost in your chances of making it into the league, but definitely not a requirement. Past that, I mean, there's not really many things you can go off of. Maybe your history in the league format, and just making sure that, like we said, activity is the biggest thing, making sure that you're around and can participate when we need you, and you can be able to get your battles done within a reasonable time period. So drafting tiers will be almost exactly the same as the UCL, with a few minor changes. These tiers will be listed on the spreadsheet. Now, the spreadsheet is not complete yet. It's not going to be nearly as fancy or good looking as the DBL Season 2 spreadsheet. It's pretty basic, just with the mons and the bracket and the teams and the draft. Just the basic necessities that we are going to need there, but that will be linked when it is ready and when everything is finalized. We are not done with that yet. I still have all the forms from this, or the responses from this, listed on there, so we have to at least hide those before we get that distributed to everyone. The draft order is going to be randomized prior to the draft. We're not going to have any sort of metronome turning like we did for Season 2 of the DBL, just completely randomized, as you'll see with the theme of the entire draft as a whole. So each team will choose one team captain prior to the draft from Tier B or below. So these will be decided on a first-come, first-served basis. A time will be announced to submit captains. So basically, the draft itself will be randomized, but you do have a choice to select one team captain from any tier B or below. There will be tiers A, B, C, and D. So you just cannot choose a really high-powered tier A Pokemon as your team captain. And for when it comes to choosing captains, what we're going to do most likely is give out a form to everyone, but not have them submit anything yet. But then we'll have a time set for them to submit that form with their desired team captain, or I guess message the DBL Twitter or something like that with their team captain choice, and then whoever chooses a mon first has the rights to that mon. If somebody else comes on later and that mon has already been selected, then that person has to find another team captain to choose. What is next? And I guess I think I missed something. With the drafting tiers, we may be adding a few more Pokemon. One major difference is that the tiers, or the team captains that were chosen in the UCL, were not listed as in any tiers in the UCL pool, so we have to distribute those into their respectful tiers and make sure that everything is still somewhat fair. We are going to be adding a few other mons as well that were not included in the UCL Little Cup Offseason League. So once the draft begins, each team will be given 2 Tier A Pokemon, 4 Tier B Pokemon, 3 Tier C Pokemon, and 1 Tier D Pokemon, and this all is after they have chosen their team captain, so they will have 11 mons total. These will be decided using a randomizer. The picks will follow the snake format instead of a full team at a time like the UCL. So we will be randomly deciding each selection for each team. So the only mon that is being directly selected by the team will be the team captain. Everything else will be completely random. So we don't really need to have the team captains there, and we can get it done in a really, really reasonable time period. And when it comes to the snake format, instead of a full team at a time, the UCL did it in a way where they would randomize pick by pick, but a team at a time, so that they could have the coach there and have their reactions, and then get a team over with and move on to the next one. Since we aren't really going to have any coaches there regardless, we're not going to be, most likely not going to be live streaming it, because I can't really support that. Maybe someone else will be, I don't know. But most likely it will not be. But we are just going to be doing it in the snake format, so exactly like the snake format for normal leagues, first pick for Team 1, then we'll go on to the first pick for Team 2, Team 3, Team 4, and a loop around after we are at 16 teams, and go 16, 15, 14, 13, back around through the snake style format. I'm assuming most of you guys understand what that is. After the draft, all 16 teams will be randomized to fill a 16-team bracket divided into 4 sections, divisions, or groups of 4. Each team will play the other 3 teams in their section or division twice, so each team will play 6 weeks total at least, with the team with the most wins after the 6 weeks moving on to the semifinals, where the bracket will then be followed. So after the first 6 weeks, we'll be left with 4 teams that will just play in the bracket until we have a champion. If there's a tie for wins after the 6 weeks, the 2 teams will play a one-on-one match with just their team captains, and if all 4 teams finish with the same record, since it isn't possible to have 3 teams finish with the best record, since that would mean the only way we could have that is if 3 teams finish 2-4, which means 1 team would have to finish 6-0, and that 6-0 team would obviously make it in. But they'll play in a round-robin format with just their team captains until a rotation is finished and a team is alone on the top of the tournament, or round-robin format thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but if the time comes and it for some reason that actually happens, which it most likely won't, but if it does, then we'll address it then, but it doesn't seem necessary at this point, so we're not going to go into depth with it. And all battles will take place on Showdown in the Little Cup Battle format, so basically, all Little Cup rules will be followed in this league, so everything will be level 5. Any moves that would not normally be learned past level 5 would not be accessible to our Pokemon in the league. The season will be starting around the 20th of March if everything can work out. I'm going to pop up this calendar here if you guys can see this. I don't know how I have this laid out. Looking at it now, I guess I'm kind of giving away when I'm recording this, but that's fine. Looks like a good date for the draft would be Friday. I mean, Friday is usually good for people. The only thing that really needs to happen is that I need to be available, because like I said, we don't have to have coaches around making picks. Everything is going to be randomized. So the Friday 18th is looking like the most likely date, or the most probable date for the draft. If that does not work, Friday night or Saturday night, the 19th of March, 2016 would be a very good backup to that. And I guess if for some reason that doesn't work, Sunday, and then we'll just keep going down the line. But other than that, I'll go over the form here that we have. Like I said, it is linked down below in the description if you guys do want to check it out. Just put your name, whatever you prefer to go by. We aren't necessarily asking for your real name, but if that's what you want to put down, feel free to put that down. Don't put too much down if it's going to somehow affect your privacy. We don't want to infringe any private issues. Feel free to just put your screen name or what you want to go by on YouTube or Twitter or anything like that. Your Twitter handle, so we can contact you on Twitter. That's where most of the stuff within the DBL goes down. Your team name for your actual team. For example, my team is Area Dynasty Tampa Bay Duskaliers. We also have teams like the Boston Weasels, the Chicago Cloisters, etc. So teams like that. This can be changed shortly after registration, but once the draft begins, all team names are going to be locked in, so you cannot change those at that point. We also need your Showdown username. As we said before, all battles will be on Showdown. Choose the following option that applies to you. So either a member of Season 2 of the DBL as a head or assistant coach, or if you were an analyst or something like that as well, you can select this option. A former member from Season 1 of the DBL that did not participate in Season 2, so anyone from Season 1 that obviously did not participate in Season 2, or if you're completely new to the DBL, just select this option right here. And finally, confirmation, making sure that you've read all of the stuff up here. It is a little bit wordy if you don't really have time, but make sure you do read this to make sure that you understand exactly what's going to be happening in the DBL Little Cup Offseason League and that you're not going to be caught off guard by anything. And then if you have any questions or comments regarding the league, the Little Cup Offseason League, or the DBL as a whole, be sure to leave them here. We will get back to you as soon as possible. And with any answers that we have to your questions. So other than that, I guess another thing, the Little Cup Offseason League, if it does start the 18th, that means week 1 will be starting the 21st or 20th. No, the 27th or 28th. So the Little Cup Offseason League will be ending around halfway through May. So if that doesn't conflict with anything that you have, I know for some people, finals for the end of college, or just finals for high school as well, if that's what you're doing, could conflict with that, so keep that in mind, as it will be around the same time if your school does end earlier than normal. For me, it ends like middle of June, but depending on when stuff happens, just keep that in mind so that you're not going to be forced to skip the last couple weeks. That is the championship as well. If you are only 4 teams out of the 16 will actually be moving on past the first 6 weeks, so the first 6 would move us till around the end of April. So that's only if you make the championship the middle of May. Otherwise, it should only take you to the end of April. But don't assume you're not going to make it to the championship. We want everyone to be confident. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. If you are somewhat interested in signing up for the DBL World Cup Offseason League, be sure to subscribe, or not subscribe, be sure to check out the form down below. Not guaranteeing you that you'll get in if you sign up, but it will give you pretty good odds. The DBL isn't too large. I'm assuming a maximum of like 30 people are going to sign up, most of them, or at least 5 to 10 aren't really going to be at the level we need. So you have pretty good odds of making it in if you just do fill out that form honestly and respectfully. And other than that, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, sure that like button, subscribe if it's first time here, and if you want to see more DBL content, catch you guys later. Goodbye.